Good morning, church family. It is so good to be here with you this morning. If you're a visitor here with us, you are most welcome. Pop a comment on, and I'm sure everyone else will make you feel equally welcome.
Yeah, hello everybody. Tonight we have a really special evening devoted to prayer and worship at 7:30 on Facebook and YouTube. We look forward to seeing you there.
But this morning's going to be really different, isn't it, Anne?
Yeah, we've got something really special coming up. You know that we've been looking at the series of Hope over the last couple of months, Stu? Well, there's a group of people in Caerphilly who've been showing hope practically to people. They have made the national news.
Wow.
They have helped 4,000 people during lockdown.
Wow.
And Jez has caught up with them this week. So let's take a look.
Great. So it's great to have my friend Dean here with us. Hello, Dean.
Hello, Jez.
Thanks.
And love Caerphilly, of course.
Yes, and anyone else that is watching. Thanks so much for being with us today. Really appreciate it. And we've only got to know each other recently, but perhaps you could tell those who are watching just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so as Jez said, I'm Dean, and I'm the local vicar in the area covering Bedwas, Tretomys, Machen, Lower Machen, Drython, Waterloo, Rudry, Kevin Mabley, Drygaraca, and Myggleston of Edu.
Goodness me. That keeps you busy then. Yeah.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy.
And you got 2 kids, is that right?
Yeah. So I've got Harry,
Yeah.
who is 2, and Ellis, who's 6 months.
Okay.
So he spent half of his life in lockdown, Ellis.
Wow. That's
And then my wife is Megan.
and how has lockdown been during with the kids then? How has that been for yourself?
It's been great.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, of course.
But for Megan, yeah, it's been tough. I think a lot of parents are struggling and
Yeah.
not being able to go out. Obviously, we're starting to see a couple of changes now, which is great, isn't it? But it's never enough.
Definitely.
When you've got children.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So yeah, I am feeling for all those parents, and I only get the tail end of it at
Right.
the beginning, don't I? Because of me being out in work.
Yeah.
Megan has to deal with it all day, every day. It's really hot today as well, so I mean,
yeah,
dealing with it in the heat as well.
Yeah.
Must be, it must be hard.
Totally. So a big shout out to Megan and all the mums out there. And
Yes.
yeah.
All parents.
Yeah, we appreciate
persevering.
So Dean, you started 3 months ago now, something called the Care Project. Can you just tell us what is all that about? What is it that you've been doing?
Yeah, so we started the Care Project on Monday the 23rd of March, which was the day the Prime Minister announced lockdown.
Right.
And we wanted to do something practical. Well, I say we. It was just this harebrained idea that I had.
Right.
And I was just thinking, churches are going to start doing all these online services and things like that. And I thought, well, that would be nice. But I thought, at the end of the day, there's going to be people in significant need. So I just went onto Facebook Live. I mean, this is the worst thing about social media. Once the words have come out, either typed or audibly on a video, you can't get them back.
True.
So I just did this live video and said, we're going to help you with your food, and we're going to help you with your prescriptions, and we're going to be on the end of the phone to listen to you, and have a chat. And suddenly, I just, in that Facebook video, started the Care Project.
Wow.
And we help people with 3 things, as I said there: food, prescriptions, and pastoral care. Lots of churches have been doing similar things up and down the country. But we wanted to do it. We wanted to try and defy the whole stay in, not because we wanted to defy the government, but because we wanted the church to be present in people's lives throughout lockdown.
Yeah.
And we know that there are people in poverty in our area. Caerphilly covers, some areas that are the most deprived areas in Wales in terms of multiple levels of deprivation. And I happen to be the vicar in some of those areas. And so even though churches are doing stuff online, guess what? Some of those people can't get online
Right. Yeah.
because they don't have computers. They have mobile phones and they're pay as you go. They have a limited amount of credit on their phone. When their data goes, it's gone. And so we thought, well, there's people in big need here.
Yeah. Very
So
good.
we did click and collect deliveries, that sort of thing, but we're also doing food parcels.
Wow.
We're picking up people's prescriptions. We've got a dedicated phone line where people can ring up and we can talk to them, and I can call them as a vicar, and offer pastoral care and offer that praying for people over the phone, and just talking to them about faith and things. And it's grown. And from that really weird idea and me kind of putting my foot in it big time, we've managed to get over 150 volunteers.
Wow.
Half are, I would say, Christians in a local church somewhere. We've got some volunteers from Love Caerphilly actually volunteering with us, and some of the other churches in the area, and some of my churches. And then the other half, I would say, are not part of a local church, but they can get behind what we're trying to do. They understand it's a Christian organisation, that we're founded on Christian principles, and we're very explicit actually in being a Christian organisation, but they're fine with it. And they've volunteered. A third of our volunteers are under 30.
Wow.
So that's about 50 volunteers are under 30. And people are just connecting with one another, relationships are growing, new connections are being made, and we're on our way to helping 4,000 people.
Wow.
Which is great. And it's a massive team effort.
Yeah, I was going to say about your response. What has the response been like from people asking for help? Has it did it come all in one go, or how's it been over the last 3 months?
There's no pattern to it whatsoever.
Right.
The minute we think that we've sussed out a pattern of how it goes, it changes.
Right.
And I think that's partly because of how erratic life has been over the last 3 months. The guidance has changed pretty much every week. We started off, people were panic buying, and people didn't want to wait in the supermarket because they were scared that they would catch coronavirus, so they would ring us up for a food parcel because they were self-isolating.
Right.
And over time that has shifted to, I'm not doing too well mentally, I can't be bothered going out, to, I'm now unemployed.
Right.
Or my benefits haven't come through, or they've been delayed, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're actually starting to see an increase in unemployment.
Right.
We're seeing an increase in pensioner poverty.
Right.
And now that the government will start withdrawing some support, because eventually they'll have to, I imagine that we'll see an increase again in other things like free school meals, people claiming because their children are on free school meals, or unemployment, that sort of thing. So the demand has been significant, I would say.
Wow.
And people have been so thankful.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I have done some deliveries myself,
and
I've been on the phones myself because I've wanted to try everything.
Yeah.
I can't just be the person with the idea. I kind of get my hands dirty as well. And people on the phone, people crying on the phone.
Really? Wow.
Crying when they've received this food parcel, because of course we try and put a week's worth of food in.
Okay, right.
Food parcel.
Yeah.
And that's a mix of ambient food, chilled food, and frozen food.
Okay, right.
Most food banks will put a couple of days worth of food in.
Right.
And most food banks can only manage ambient food because, of course, there's all the equipment of fridges and freezers and additional checks that you have to go through to make sure that the food is okay. And it is a lot of hard work. But we wanted to try and be different because we just want to try and be as generous as we can as the church.
Amazing.
And say, you just remember the church is here for you.
No.
And we're doing this as the local church because we care, and hence the name of the project, really.
Yeah.
And people have been really, really, really good and grateful.
Amazing.
And it's very humbling.
So with the ease of lockdown now in the next few weeks, have
Yeah.
you seen a decrease in the amount of need that's out there? I mean, has that gone down at all or
Not so far. It's increased.
increased? Really? Wow, interesting. So there's still a great
Yeah.
amount of need out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking. I'm not an expert on these things, but I'm just a complete amateur working it all out.
Right. Really?
But,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Sorry, going back to like when you started and you had the idea, just briefly, I was going to ask, what resources did you have? Did you have things that, where did you have anything in terms of to get
We had
started?
nothing.
You had nothing. Wow.
We didn't have a fridge. We didn't have a freezer.
Wow.
We didn't have volunteers.
Wow.
We didn't have we didn't even have people really within the church. My parishes are quite poor financially.
Right. Yeah.
The room that I'm sitting in now, which is our office, was actually a junk room just over 13 weeks ago.
Wow.
We didn't have any of the infrastructure. We had no policies. We had absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And it was just a stepping out in faith, thinking, well, God, if you're in this,
Yeah.
you're going to provide the way. And I tell you what, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a control freak at times. I do like to have a plan in place. I like to know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
And actually, in our service, we meet on Google Meet,
Right.
similar to Zoom.
Yeah.
We meet every week, and the Old Testament reading. So obviously, we follow the lectionary, which is a set over 3 years readings for each day of the week. And the readings of last Sunday, the Old Testament one was where God reminds Moses that he had to lead the people out of Egypt and into a promised land.
Right. Yeah.
And a few weeks before that, it was Abraham. Abraham, just leave everything that you've ever known and go somewhere.
Yeah.
The place I'm going to show you. No directions, no final destination. This is where just an abstract, I'll show you where you're going to go. And it felt very much like that. And
Right.
it has felt uncomfortable at times because what we're dealing with is people's lives.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've had significant, miracles. I've got to say, yes, miracles. The Welsh Government have supported us. Caerphilly County have supported us. Individuals have given really generously. We've had people donate on loan vans and vehicles to us.
Wow.
Just the exposure that we've had has been a miracle.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody knew about our churches. We're just old Anglican churches.
Yeah.
Everyone just walks past our churches. And yet people have noticed and they've been able to signpost people, and it's truly been a miracle.
Wow.
And we've been able to employ people. We've got 2 young people employed with ourselves as a charity, and an administrator. And it's been hard because, of course, they're fixed term contracts, and you kind of think, well, we've employed these people, but with the current situation as it is, if our funding comes to an end, 3 people are going to be unemployed.
Right. Yeah.
But only yesterday we received another grant for £10,000 for salaries.
Praise God.
So it's like we're right on the edge.
Yeah.
And then God steps in and says, "Remember, I'm here.
Amazing.
I'm looking after you."
Amazing.
And someone said, "Well, yeah, that's fine. What if God isn't there?" And I said, "Well, that's not that he's not there. It's just that he's telling us that we might need to stop and do something else."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the whole thing of being faithful is to go full steam ahead until you hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
Until you hit that wall, God, is probably saying, press on, keep going until there's no other way. And then when things start to change, it might be that I'm moving you on to something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet, I think of Jesus' words, "You'll always have the poor among you," whether that's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, whatever it is. poverty is everywhere.
Yeah.
And so for now, the Care Project is staying, even after lockdown has been completely lifted. And we are seeing, our demand has been sustained. So we wouldn't feel right shutting it down, because I know that all the other food banks are open and they're working flat out.
Yeah.
And yet there's still enough need for people to come to us too.
Yeah.
So, it's a big job that we've got on, and the church has got something to say.
Yeah.
The church can say something about poverty, and it can do something about poverty too.
Wow. So it's been a whole journey of lessons and stepping out in faith and being challenged and seeing God's provision. Absolutely amazing story. So much has happened in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, for those that need support, for anybody out there that's watching this right now, how does that work? We could put a number up perhaps on the screen or something. Is that how they get in touch with you, by phone? Or?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, so they can get in touch either online or on the phone. If it's online, it's bmmr.church/care.
Okay.
BMMR stands for Bedwas, Machen, Michelstone, Avedo and Rudry, which is the 4 historic parishes that I cover. So bmmr.church/care.
Right.
If they want to call, they can telephone 02921 880 212.
Okay.
It's option 0 for the Care Project. And what will happen is our volunteers who are on the phones are lovely, lovely people. They'll guide them through what has to happen. And we're quite good at getting the food parcels out. Usually we can get them within 24 hours to the person from the point that they ring up, or submit a form online.
Okay.
So we're trying to give as many ways that people can get in touch with us as possible. But it's, we've recently ran into that problem where if you only have a phone and you only have a pay as you go phone and you've run out of minutes and data,
right,
you can't get in touch.
Yes.
And we really don't know what to do about that. I've got to be honest. But we're trying to get people to partner with us actually as referral partners.
Okay.
Starting from the 29th of June. So that's going to be announced this coming week.
Okay.
And we're hoping that will help people to get in touch with somebody who can submit that form on their behalf if they don't have money on their mobile phone to do so.
Excellent.
Amongst other things, it'll help us in other ways as well.
Yeah, so watch out for that. That's good. And for anyone that's out there that would like to get involved or volunteer or help out, what are the different ways in which people can help what you're doing?
Yeah, well, any volunteering opportunities, they can just go onto our website, same website, bmmr.church/care.
Okay.
And there are loads of different roles. You don't have to be down here. I'm in St. Thomas's Church in Thomas, which is next to Tinnerwern Primary School. This is where our food hub is here.
Okay.
We have a lot of people working here, packing food parcels, sorting food out. And then we've got delivery drivers who come and deliver the food out. We don't have anybody come here. It's a delivery service. And that's quite important to us because some people, for example, if you're on an estate and you live a little bit of a way out from a supermarket and you're a single parent and you've got children, if you want to do the shopping, you've probably got to get the bus or a taxi. But you've got to get the bus or the taxi with your children,
go to
the supermarket, pick up a couple of bags shopping and come back. And all that costs money. So we'd rather deliver the food to people. And obviously we started deliveries because of lockdown. But actually we found that there's another reason.
Right.
It's almost like a God showing us another reason why it's a good thing to deliver, because people can't afford to get a car, buy a car and fuel it and all of that sort of stuff. So there's delivery drivers, there's call handlers. They can do that remotely from their own home as long as they've got internet. Administration people, again, that can be done from at home. So lots of different jobs. We have people to collect food from supermarkets when they donate to us. All of that sort of stuff. There's a job for everybody.
Brilliant. So if anyone is interested, we'll put the details up and they can get in touch with you. Well, I just want to say, Dean, hats off to you. You are doing an amazing job, and I I just say be encouraged, and all of your team be encouraged with everything you're doing.
We're massively encouraged, and we're encouraged by the response from the local church as well. And I'm not concerned about it being our ministry. I don't want it to be that's the thing that Dean set up, that's the thing that happens in those. No, it's a ministry of the local church. There are people from all sorts of churches in the Caerphilly area helping here. It's all of our ministry. And my main thing is that the church, capital C, has something to say to this generation at this time. As I said, I think I said to you the other day, it just concerned me and it stirred me that on Easter Sunday, we were all locked away in our own homes, kind of declaring and proclaiming the resurrection of Jesus, that there's life beyond this one, that there's everlasting life available, that Jesus has conquered death. And yet, we're stuck in. And we're, I don't want us to be complicit in kind of allowing people to be afraid of death when actually we're a people of life.
Man, yes.
And and I think if that's one thing that we've been able to do alongside all the practical stuff is actually say there's people living still. We're still alive. We're still doing things. And we're doing it because we believe that life doesn't stop here. It starts here, if anything. And it goes on into eternity. And we want people to join us by having that living, active faith. And so a little message goes into every food parcel. Just
really?
Something of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you just don't know. Some people might be a bit skeptical. Oh, well, you're given a food parcel, but you're not exactly preaching to them, are you? But often the road to somebody becoming a follower of Jesus Christ is a long one.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's not for me about hammering the Bible at people and saying repent and believe. Although, of course, that is what I say. If they see me on a Sunday, on a normal Sunday, I do say that.
Yeah.
But when they're at their point of need, a bit like Jesus with those lepers,
Yes.
Loads of them were healed.
Yeah.
One came back.
Yeah.
And I think it's just sow the seed.
Yes, that's it.
Sow the seed of the gospel.
Yeah.
Put that little letter into the food parcel.
Yeah.
They can put it in the bin. Well, at least they can get it out of the bin if they want. They can put it, chuck it away and think, oh, those God botherers. I'll just take the food, thanks very much. No skin off my nose.
Definitely.
I've helped them. The church has helped them. But at least they know that where they can go. If they want to find out more, they know that they can come to us and we'll tell them what we believe. And we'd be happy to do that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I think everything that you're doing is absolutely brilliant, and like I said, it would be great for other people to get involved as well with what you're doing. Just like you said, I remember a quote that said, preach the gospel and if need be, use words. So, it starts with just showing unconditional love. And as you said, when you put those seeds out there, you've no idea what's going to happen in people's hearts and lives,
No, you don't. And quite often you don't get to see you might be the sower, but you're very rarely the person who ends up pulling the plant out.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone else comes along and has that job.
Yeah.
And quite often you're just doing the early bits, That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, it's about being, as you're saying, it's about being faithful to what he's asking you to do, isn't it? So well, thanks so much for being
thank you, and thanks to all the church, thanks to Love Caerphilly, being present online, so many churches being so visible, and in an age where you can't, with lockdown, you can't go out, people are looking at their TV screens and their computer screens more. So the fact that the church is being exposed, people in their homes where the pressure isn't there, they can log in, log out. It's good that there's people like yourself and the people of Love Caerphilly and all the other churches being really visible. Again, that's sowing seed too, isn't it?
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thanks again so much for speaking
My
with us
pleasure.
today. All the details, guys, are on the screen, and we'll make sure that we make it possible for you to get in touch with Dean and the team there. Really appreciate you being with us today, and
I appreciate having the time.
it's great. Well, take care of yourself, all right? Okay.
And you, Jez. Take
Okay.
care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Wow.
If you want to get involved, send us a message and we'll send you all the details.
This week, all of our groups are on. So on Tuesday, we have the prayer meeting with Jazz. On Wednesday and Thursday, we have our Zoom groups. If you're not currently part of our Zoom groups, get in contact and we can get you the details out for those. But next week, we've got something really special starting.
Yes, exciting news, drum roll. We are launching the online cafe. Woo woo! This will be happening after the church online meeting on Zoom. So, normally on a Sunday we'll be having a cup of tea and a biscuit in church after the meeting. Well, this will be happening on Zoom.
But good news for the setup team, there will be no need to put away any chairs during this time.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll be having breakout rooms, we'll be able to have chats in smaller groups as well. And we are so excited and pumped about this. Woo-hoo.
By the amazing power of editing, on the bottom of the screen at the moment, we will have the details for the church for our tithes and offerings. All I want you to remember during this time is you can never, ever, ever outgive God.
That's right. During lockdown, we have seen so much provision for ourselves, for our friends, and our families as well. God is good all the time.
Yes, he is.
And we just want to give a little shout out to Ray and to tell him a happy birthday because he is 9 today. Happy birthday, Ray! And after this, we have a little Zoom group for all the kids in church just to sing happy birthday to Ray.
So we just want to say goodbye, guys. We love you, we miss you, and we hope you have a fantastic week. God bless, guys.
Bye.
Bye.